everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author, and welcome back to my channel. I write young adult fiction across a variety of genres. Anything that might interest you, then think about subscribing below. I also have a Ko-fi shop with signed paperbacks and swag, which you can also find below. So I decided that this week I would answer some questions from you guys. I have 10 questions and a bonus one, and I'm just going to jump right to it. Number 1, how's the revision going? It's going really well. I recently, as in the last month or so, switched from my past 2 revision writing projects into 2 new ones, and that's going really well as well. The ones I just finished revising, they're not completely done. I will go through them again when the time comes before they go to the editor, but for now they're pretty much in a lot better shape than they were when I first started. I plan to continue with these 2 projects for a while and see how it goes and all of that, but overall it's going really well. Number 2, do you ever wonder if you'd quit writing? It has occurred to me over the years, like sometimes I will sit there and think, I don't have any ideas, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. And then I realised that writing is a very core part of who I am, and it's basically my way of continuing on with my life, so I don't think that I would ever quit writing altogether. I might stop drafting for a time like I'm doing at the moment, but I'm still writing in the fact that I'm still revising and rewriting and stuff like that. Number 3, do you think you'll ever write different genres from the main ones you write now? It depends. Like sometimes I'll get questions like this and I'll say, oh no, I'm happy with the genres I'm writing now, but it really does depend on where the ideas take me. I've never been one to sort of like pigeonhole myself into one genre or one category and all the rest of it, but I know that I will probably always write young adult unless some adult ideas come to me, which they haven't. But it is all about where the ideas take me. That's why I switch genres so much, is because the ideas take me over to urban fantasy, from crime to sci-fi to dystopian, etc, etc. So I know that basically I'll keep writing as long as the ideas are there, and the ideas will take me to whichever genres they take me. Number 4, will you go back to drafting eventually? Yes, the plan is to start next year. I already have 2 ideas brewing in my head that I want to start drafting, so the idea is that I will go back to drafting eventually. Just for now I need to focus on revising and rewriting and all of that. Number 5, how are all the kitties doing? So the kittens will be 5 this year, which is kind of mind-blowing to me that they're not still itty bitty tiny babies. And Dash and Violet are just turned 16, they're our tabbies. And Dash has hypothyroidism and blood pressure issues and the beginnings of kidney disease, but otherwise he's doing fine. Medication wise, he's fine. He doesn't like the medication, but I don't think any cats do. Violet is old and doddery and just as antisocial as she always has been, and she's fine. She's fine. She likes to hang around when Dash gets his meds because that means that they get treats, and she likes to get the treats without getting the meds, so yeah. Number 6, have Translucent Arcs gone out yet? Yes, they went out on the 1st of April, and there is still time to sign up for one if you want to. The link is below. Number 7, do you have any ideas for new books even though you're not drafting? So I already talked about this a little bit in the fact that I do have 2 new ideas sort of brewing in the back of my head. One of them is a lot more fleshed out than the other, but both of them are pretty much going to be the next 2 projects that I draft. Number 8, will you do more disability content? I am still doing disability content in the fact that I do shorts, and some of them are about wheelchair walks and stuff like that, and I do have more disability content planned. I have a series coming up about writing and editing and such with certain chronic illnesses, so I do have more disability content planned, and I do plan to continue doing it. It does very well on my channel. I just don't want to only do disability content, which is why I don't continually do it. Number 9, have you ever read a book that's similar to yours? Yes and no, in the fact that a lot of stories will sound like they're similar when you look at the overarching plot, but when you look down to the execution, they're very different. I don't think I've ever read a book that's similar to mine that I sort of sit back and think, oh, okay, this came from the same idea. But I have read books that have similar themes to mine, but every writer has, because themes and plot and all the rest of it are universal. You're going to find someone that has a similar idea to yours, they just execute it differently. But no, I've never read a book that's so similar to mine that I've kind of thought, hang on a minute. And number 10, do most of your newer books have disability rep? Yes, I think they do, either chronic illness rep or just disability rep. And that's just simply because when I wrote my debut, it did have chronic illness rep in it, but I didn't think that was what people wanted to read. I didn't think that was what people wanted to see. And so I kind of shied away from disability rep and chronic illness rep for a while. I did do Lynn and Hope, which does have some disability rep in it. And then I didn't really do disability rep again until Lights Out, and then on from there. And like with Translucent and Invisible, the series, it's very much heavy on the disability rep, and it kind of helped me explore the boundaries, but also work out that yes, people do want to see this content, so go ahead and do it because you will find your readers. And so that kind of like opened up the floodgates, as it were, and allowed me to really explore the ideas with some disability rep. So yes, most of the newer books are going to have some kind of disability rep, and I'm okay with that. And the bonus question, how's the reading going? So at the beginning of the year, I set my reading goal to 350 books. I've since dropped it down to 300 because I had a really slow start to my reading year. I'm still reading a lot, I'm just not reading as much as I was, and because of that I didn't want to have a goal that was unattainable, so I moved it down to 300. It might be that as the year goes on it goes back up to 350. If it does, great. If it doesn't, oh well. I read because I enjoy it and because I want to absorb the stories, and I don't want to sort of like be forcing myself to read and read and read and read if I'm not into the book, or if I'm not into the stories, if I'm just not in a place where I can read. So I just wanted to make myself have a more attainable goal. So there we go, that's 11 answers to 11 questions that you guys have sent to me. If you ever have a question for me, you can send it to me over social media. I will probably answer it there and then, but if I don't, I will hoard it for a video like this. So how's your reading going? Let me know in the comments down below. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like, or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media, and my books are available everywhere. You can also buy things at my Ko-fi shop, and you can also sign up for my newsletter. And don't forget to pre-order Translucent, which is the second in a young adult dystopian quartet. And if you do pre-order, don't forget to grab the swag. And also don't forget to grab a ticket for Wonderland in Nottingham in July, where I'll be signing books. All the links for which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.